recording right now. So any questions before we start? Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to run through my portfolio and then maybe we can save some questions at the end. So like decentralized finance, you can go and buy a token, and this is typically where I go and get most of my tokens. I go to gate.io. So you don't have to use Binance. Binance will have a lot of KYC restrictions, and in order to get even past Binance, you have to go through Binance.us if you're in America. But if you want to get other coins that are pretty off the market, you can go to gate.io. And KuCoin is another option. These are what's known as an exchange. Um, and some exchanges have very, very tight restrictions, but as you can see, KuCoin and Gate.io, they're almost clones of one another. Like you can see some.
Can you buy using debit or credit card in Gate.io, or you need to have a token or like a coin, a Bitcoin or anything?
Yeah, I'll go through that right now, actually. So what I'm gonna do is basically log in, and I'll show you exactly how Gate.io actually works. So once I log in, it's gonna ask me to kind of go in through my email and whatever, and I'll slide this. To answer your question really quick, Throne, you need cryptocurrency from like another exchange like crypto.com or Coinbase, or other means of getting these things. But I'm strictly talking about exchanges. So once you already have crypto, you would come to gate.io and flip it for other pairs that are in DeFi, because most of the DeFi coins don't exist on Coinbase. They don't exist on a lot of exchanges.
Right. Question. Let's say if if a swap is available in crypto.com and also in Gate.io, is it better we come here so it's not trackable and no KYC, etc.? Or is that it doesn't matter?
Um, so as far as like it being kind of like a secured option, is that what you're kind of saying?
No, so like for example, let's say in crypto.com or Coinbase, let's say you buy, sell, you get W2, not W2, like whatever the profits you make, and you get everything, right? But with platforms like Gate.io, you're not really buying into anything like dollar, but your currency might be in terms of crypto gains. Um, is that all trackable, traceable to your identity, or like I'm just trying to understand, like, is it like let's say if you're playing and if you are getting gains, then is it better to play on Coinbase or crypto.com or like Gate.io or any?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I would say like okay, so there's a few questions in that. Like number one is like you can always play it safe, and your payments will always be tracked in Coinbase always, and they'll always be tracked on some of those exchanges. But with Gate.io, no. Like if you send any amount of crypto to Gate.io, Coinbase at that point can only track what the transaction was sent to this wallet, and it's a wallet that actually exists within Gate.io itself. And I can deposit to my account here, so I can choose any coin, even Pocket Network, anything. So there's a bunch of the Harmony tokens on here, including all the different Atom tokens and the different Solana tokens, and everything is in here. And I can choose Pocket Network, and wherever I got Pocket originally, I can send it to Gate.io and then trade it on the market, which is what makes Gate.io so special. But if I have something from Coinbase, I can use maybe my USDT and pick the right chain and send it to this address, since this is the wallet address that's in here. And there's nothing that you guys can ever do with this, right? It's like this is the public front address that you can send me Tether. So this is what you would basically put into Coinbase, and when you're withdrawing, right? So there's a difference between withdrawing and depositing. When you're depositing, you're putting something in. When you're withdrawing means sending. So That's like a easy way to remember it. And once it comes into Gate.io, you can come to the marketplace here, and then I can go and actually look at my pairs, and I can go into do to like a one token here. And if it's really cheap to buy, say, like Litecoin on Coinbase, because it is, very, very, very cheap. I can send it very, very cheaply since there. Okay, so there are different rate limits for what coins you send outside of Coinbase. So I usually like to pick Litecoin or Binance Dollar or something else that's really cheap like Ripple, and I'll send it to my Gate.io. And if I had $1,000, I can send it to Gate.io for like maybe a few pennies. If I were to try to send Bitcoin or Ethereum or really even one, it would cost me like maybe $20, $30, maybe even $100 in some instances. So you so number one is like if you're gonna be buying cryptos on a public exchange like Coinbase or crypto.com, you want to look into the fees that are going to be generated once you send it out of those exchanges to DeFi exchanges. So I would consider Gate.io and KuCoin to be DeFi exchanges since they exist purely using smart contracts because they have what's known as liquidity mining also with any of the two pairs that you want to post things to. So I can actually use liquidity pools for one and USDT in Gate.io. And this is what makes Gate.io really, really cool because I can stake my coins here and then earn the Gate token. And the Gate token actually has $7 to its name. And it's actually ever increasing. And it's got a really, really great chart. So I like staking here. I stake my, I buy Findora. And I have about 10,000 Findora here. And I have about $15 in Tether that I've gotten. So I can redeem this. I can just take all the money. Or you know I can add more liquidity. I'm just gonna let it sit because that's what I want to do. And yeah, you can save all your coins here. So Gate.io is a really great place to start as far as like DeFi exchanges. There's obviously like Uniswap, which is another really really popular one. But this I wouldn't consider it to be an exchange. This is just a swapping, pooling, voting protocol where you come to like, send tokens to your MetaMask or something, which is what most people do. They don't think about using Gate.io as a place to send tokens to first. People typically send to their MetaMask or their other wallet extensions. And you can also download a desktop wallet extension too for added security. And I would say like the Findora wallet is really nice. I don't really know of any other wallets that allow you to stake other than Exodus. The Findora wallet and Exodus allow you to stake there. So if you want to take money off the markets, which is what most people end up doing, because Bitcoin's really hard to get a hold of because people are taking it off and putting it into their wallets to begin with. So Exodus is really great for your Bitcoin holdings and your rewards. And if you want to take money out of the market, out of circulating supply, maybe you made like, 40K like I did out of nowhere. And then you want to take it off the market so that you don't like lose liquidity, or if you keep all your liquidity, where do you keep it? Well, that's the purpose of a wallet. So you can keep your earnings safe. And so once the market starts becoming really bullish again, you take your earnings in your wallet and then you submit it back to your MetaMasks or your Gate.io, and then you start trading again once the market starts going up, like how it is right now, literally. So I could do that. So I'll show you. This is a good day for me to show you everything that I would do on a typical bullish day. So I can claim some of my Findora rewards. I can claim all of them. I would wait 15 seconds. And I'm going to basically do that with everything, right? I'm just going to go to all my DeFi and claim all my rewards, and then I can basically sell it and swap it for USDT. And then perhaps I'll show you an example of me putting it all back into my Exodus wallet and keeping all of my liquidity for later. So any questions so far as like the different applications?
I actually, this is Mace. I do have a question. First of all, I don't want to interrupt, but when we do have a question question, do we just kind of speak up?
Sure, yeah. This is super unconventional. I'm just kind of going over my own DeFi strategy.
It's to what you were saying is, and I think it goes back to the first question the other person was asking, is that once we go through crypto.com or how you said Coinbase and it's KYC with them. But the minute that we transfer it to Gate.io, it's no longer trackable. But Coinbase or crypto.com does have the transaction that it was sent into there.
Yes.
Am I understanding that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they always have every transaction going in or out of their exchanges, always. But they can never track what's happening on your MetaMask. They can never track what's happening in the DeFi pools that you're in. They don't have any means or any way of actually tracking what happens to your liquidity after you take it out of Coinbase. So that's the only thing they can actually ever tax you in terms of like the history of your account on. But people don't. But Coinbase and crypto don't. They don't tax you on your outgoing. Like they don't tax you on outgoing transactions. They only tax you on incoming transactions. If and only if you tax yourself on those transactions. So this is actually another thing. Is most DeFi doesn't actually leave DeFi. It just it kind of gets it stays in DeFi. Most of DeFi stays in DeFi. The way that you take it back out and you sell it back to yourself is there's a couple of ways. You either split it between a bunch of different applications, like you can split it between Coinbase, you can split it between PayPal, you can split it between in any way, and send all of your transactions that way. And then just send yourself USD from another wallet and say it was a gift. You can really kind of claim anything. There's no regulations yet, as far as I know, for DeFi, so it's a quote unquote mystery tax, but it's actually not. Kind of got confirmation from Harmony themselves. Leo basically told me like any earnings that you made on an NFT, it can't be taxed. They don't have anything that says that you can't sell your earned Ethereum for the NFTs that you've made money on for the cash that people paid you for, because there's no law saying that the sale itself was a sale that wasn't done by a broker, since the law of who is the broker in the situation isn't actually instantiated in the state anywhere besides Wyoming or Louisiana. So as far as I know, you're good. But I don't want to get super deep on legals in this. But yeah.
So one more question. Before you get started with all of this, what do you recommend that people starting and as you get more involved in it, what wallet should you be holding? Like obviously everyone should have a MetaMask, and then the one Chrome wallet, and eventually the mobile wallet. What do you consider how many wallets should we have, and what are your maybe top 5 wallets that you...
Sure, yeah. Everyone that's right up here, I would suggest having one of every or any DeFi wallet of any network. So every network has their own wallet. MetaMask is the overall Google Chrome wallet for every single network. And then you have the Kelper wallet, and this is for your Juno, your Cosmos, your Akash, your Osmosis. These are all the Cosmos blockchains that exist. This is including crypto.com or crypto.org for the Crow coin. So and that blows people away too. Yeah, so Crow is built by Cosmos, and not a whole lot of people know that. So Cosmos is fire. Everything that's in Cosmos is awesome. I love it. And I love Harmony also. But Harmony is also changing their wallet from the Chrome to MetaMask. So this extension's actually about to get kind of KO'd soon. But it's not gonna like die. You can still always use it, but they're gonna basically shift over to MetaMask, and then you would have to use, you would have to add networks according to what network you wanted to use. So if you got a Findora wallet, you would have to actually add the network for Findora, and if you were doing the same thing with like any other token or any other network, you would have to do the same thing for Avalanche or for Harmony or for even their test nets and everything else. That's what MetaMask allows you to have, including obviously Ethereum and so on. And so MetaMask 100% being number one. Number two, if you're a Harmony person, definitely check out this Google Chrome extension. Cosmos, you want to check out the Kelper wallet, and then the Phantom wallet, which is Solana. It's Solana and Phantom. So these are these wallets, and they're pretty cool too. And they got a lot of DeFi that's out there, so these are fun to check out. And then obviously Polkadot, if you want to mess with Polkadot. But Polkadot kind of sucks, in my honest opinion. Their wallet just doesn't make any sense, and I can't even see anything that's in my wallet, even if I had Polkadot, so it doesn't make sense. So Polkadot's a little far behind, in my opinion. So, yeah. Any other questions?
So in this case, right, like, why do we need Coinbase at all if this is the case? Because it looks like Coinbase is cracking it. Like but DeFi, we have our own privacy maintained. It's not really trackable. So why would anyone use Coinbase?
You need a cryptocurrency from US dollar. I think once you get that token or cryptocurrency, then you don't need it,
Right.
So if you convert to money, then you need exchange. Otherwise, we are good with the DeFi exchange.
Or you can.
If you want exit again, you need physical money. So only those two times you need. I think once you enter, you can go play, gain. I think that's what Dylan was saying. Like most of the DeFi would stay in DeFi. Like whatever you earn, like let's say you put in like $50 and it becomes like 5,000, then it mostly stays there and playing around in the DeFi unless you want to withdraw. Then you use these exchanges like PayPal, Coinbase, and
So is it that we cannot transfer dollars to any of these exchanges and like Gate or DAO or KuCoin convert it into coin, right? Is it possible to transfer dollars and get it converted? That's what we do in Coinbase, right? We give dollars and we buy the coin.
Yeah, I mean, in Coinbase, you can buy any of their coins that they have listed. Like, you can get USDC, which is basically the most universal token out of every token, even beyond Bitcoin. And Litecoin, I would say, that's why I say Litecoin, because Litecoin is tradable anywhere, and it's one of the cheapest to transact. So you can get like Litecoin and buy it through Coinbase, and Coinbase will allow you to buy it with your bank or your credit card or whatever you want, and then you can send that money from your wallet out to Gate.io, and then you can trade it for the token that you actually want. So if I wanted to get like any token that I wanted, like one token, I could do it here. If you wanted to buy one tokens directly, you can go to crypto.com. So that's the difference. It's that you cannot get Harmony One on Coinbase, but you can get Harmony One on crypto.com. But the thing is, this is the twist, not everyone has access to crypto.com. And when you do have access to crypto.com, it's like they have a lot of rules and conditions, and you might not be comfortable with those. And they also have a history of cutting off transactions from people. So I try to avoid crypto.com as much as possible, personally. And that's just because they stop payments on people, and Binance is notorious for doing this exact same thing. You can get Harmony on Binance too, but it's you run into the problem where you can't even pull or send or transact your money at all, especially during times where DeFi is getting really hot, and Harmony hit like a 38 cents at one point, And then I remember a lot of people couldn't sell. Like even at 27 all the way up to like 33 or something, people were like, I can't sell, I can't sell. And Binance held that. And I was able to sell because all my money was in DeFi. So as I was trading all my liquidity against everybody who was holding inside of crypto.com, I won and they lost. So is that like a good thing? No. So how do you avoid that? You got to make sure that you like do other things, like other means of getting the currencies that you want. And I love Gate.io because Gate.io has, I to my understanding, zero track history of, and KuCoin. KuCoin and Gate.io, they don't have any history of.
Let's exchange or decentralized exchanges.
So these are decentralized exchanges.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So these aren't owned really by anybody. They're maintained by the core teams, but the thing is that this exchange has a smart contract right here. So this on the right side, this is a smart contract. This between the liquidity pool for one in USDT, if I add or redeem, this is a smart contract. Just sitting on this exchange. And that's the same thing for KuCoin if you were to go to KuCoin. And there's only some coins you can get on KuCoin. I'm not going to do all the research and the history of what is not on which, but you know, some people love Cadena, and Cadena was listed on KuCoin before it was listed on Gate.io. So people, bought into KuCoin. So this is how these exchanges make money, is that they do like listing competitions, like who does which one first. And so, but Harmony is basically on both. Harmony is everywhere, but it's not on Coinbase. It is on crypto.com. So everyone thinks that you have to get Harmony on crypto.com, but you'll always buy Harmony at crypto.com for like 25 cents. It's 22. I can guarantee if I go to crypto.com right now, it's higher than its listed price. And I don't think that's what you guys want to do. You should buy cryptocurrencies at the price that they are matched on the market. So that's why I always buy a stable coin first, or a shit coin like Litecoin, which is not really even shit. It's pretty awesome in a lot of ways. And I'll use Litecoin and I'll send it, wherever I want. And then I'll buy the cryptocurrencies that I want on any exchange. Since Litecoin is universally accepted, USDC is universally accepted, and so is Bitcoin and Ethereum. But Bitcoin and Ethereum are super expensive to transact. So the only coins that I've ever found that were cheap were Litecoin, Ripple, Solana. Actually, Solana is really, really cheap to transact, and Cosmos. So Cosmos and Solana, buying those is just as an enjoyable experience as buying a stable coin and sending it to these exchanges. So that's another thing. Let me try to find Harmony.
One more question, Dylan. Can you swap from any token to any token, or should that be in the same chain? Like, for example, can I trade Atom and one? Let's say.
Yeah, so Atom and USDT is the only, and or BTC, like they'll give you their pairs here in Gate.io. But if you wanted to go and so this is what is known as like a native swap between like USDT and the coins. But if you were to do like a swap between those two, you would come to like Uniswap, but you would be paying a ridiculous amount of fees. So if you were to do Atom, for example, and let's say like, I don't know, any coin like UMA. Well, if I had some, then I would show you. But basically, yes, like on a swap, this is what's known as a swap DEX. Like it's a decentralized exchange, but it's mainly for pooling and swapping. And their pools are what supplies the liquidity for people to swap the tokens on Uniswap. But you're paying like $30 for that swap. And in some cases, you're paying like $400 if the pair is really, really big.
Question. Say, for example, if I want to buy Harmony right now, I'm using crypto.com to purchase them. Are you suggesting like maybe we can buy Atmos or Solano or Polkadot or whatever on crypto.com, send it to what is it, Gate.io, and then swap here? Or
Um,
how do you do that?
So I would find the pair that is the cheapest fee to send to Gate.io. Basically, what I'm saying is that I would recommend with Crypto.com is buy you can buy Harmony on Crypto.com and then send it to your Harmony wallet or to your MetaMask, and then you can send it to Gate.io and flip it for whatever you want, or keep it in MetaMask. There's no problem with buying Crypto.com Harmony. But like I said, they're notorious for stopping transactions. Like, you just bought this coin and we don't want you to trade it because we don't have enough or whatever it might be. USD is an unlimited supply, so you can always get USD and then send it to anything in the world, and then you can immediately flip it, and you won't really lose that much money for doing that ever when it comes to a fee.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to avoid fees as much as possible because a lot of people don't realize how bad the fees really are in Ethereum. Any Ethereum token is like above $30 just to send a transaction. If you're sending a transaction using any other currency outside of Coinbase, then it becomes like a lot cheaper, but then you're running into the risk of those currencies not having enough liquidity in those exchanges when they're being bought. So the ones that I have 100% have always been able to pair and trade and flip had been Litecoin, USDC, and USDT Tether. So I'll buy those first before I buy other coins because it's a 1-to-1 match. So when I buy it, I'll get just as much as I put in, and there's no volatility. So I can send it to an exchange, and Gate.io is extremely fast. So I have some USDT right here, and I'll show you how fast this is. I can buy it at any price, the next one price. So I can get any amount. I can choose how many I want. I have 9 USDT, so I have $9. I can get whatever amount that is being listed right now in the order book. So it looks like there's a couple, like 24 for $5 and so on. I can buy any amount that is being sold. So I'm just going to do the next 1%, buy it immediately, confirm my order, put in my password as soon as I do this, and boom, now I have one. And it's that fast. So I can have this token and I can let it go up. And this is how people do day trading. This is how people do like a lot of like quick swaps. They use DeFi exchanges like this because I can see the chart and I can flip it back to USDT and then use my USDT to go and maybe buy like anything that I want, like anything that's like going up at the moment. Gate.io is very fun because I can split my money and basically play with it and try to like make as much earnings as I can in a given like time slot, and then transition it all back to USDT and not really lose anything. Because this trade costs me less than 1,000th of a penny. No matter which trade you're doing on Gate, it costs next to nothing.
Okay, I need a quick question. Coinbase and Crypto.com are for us to be able to get fiat currency, buy it, and then you're suggesting that we move it out of Coinbase and out of Crypto.com and hold it in either MetaMask or other wallets or onto these Gate.io.
Right, yeah. So like Gate.io has its own wallet that you would put it in. You can store it in MetaMask, which is a perfectly safe option. You would put it in Gate. Okay, so Gate.io is if you want to do actual DeFi exchange trading, right? You would come here to do some trades after you buy some USDC, put it in here, do a lot of trades, buy your shit coins. Like, they got every Shiba coin known to man on here. So like, if you wanted to do that kind of stuff, kudos to you, right? But you can do things here or at KuCoin, buy your crazy coins, and then yes, you can send them if it's supported by MetaMask. You can choose that network and you can put it into MetaMask. And since I mess with one, I like to use my Harmony tokens, and I will send them here. And so now that I have 40 tokens in Gate.io, I can go to my wallet, I can withdraw my one, and I'm going to actually choose my Harmony tokens. And I can choose the address that I want to send it to. So I'll choose my MetaMask, copy this, paste it here. Paste it here. I don't need to add that. I'm just gonna say 40 tokens. Awesome. It's gonna be 8 fee. Okay, so sending out is a little expensive for Gate.io. But that I wouldn't really want to use Gate.io to send one. Maybe I might use like a really even a cheaper token perhaps. If I made my earnings, I wouldn't want to send myself back 1 tokens. Maybe like USD might be a lot cheaper. So you just have to find the right fees that work for you. And these change all the time. So yeah, and I would.
I'll give you like an example. When I wanted to buy Theta Coin, I went onto Coinbase and I bought Stellar, and then from there I went on to an exchange and was able to purchase the Theta Coin very cheaply because Stellar had very cheap transactions. That's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I'll choose some coins that I know to be like really, really inexpensive, and I'll trade and do things from there to move my money. Because it's all about currency trading. Because like when you're currency trading, you are basically trying to find the cheapest route to get to the coins that you want and to make the most gains, and then reverse engineer that process back to US to like a stable coin. And so typically what people do is they will be playing with money all over the place, and I don't know why this isn't working. So oh, here we go. So yeah, so basically I'm kind of completing the process, and yes, you're right. You can just choose the cheapest pairs when you see them. That's correct. But what we're doing is basically doing multiple network exchanges. So I'm playing with Solana, Cosmos, and Harmony networks, and I'm using Gate.io as my way of like getting my rewards from these 3 different networks, sending them to Gate.io, and flipping them for the 3 different kinds of currencies from these 3 different kinds of networks, which have hundreds of different currencies for each one. So that's why I use Gate.io.
Question to
Yeah.
so let's say if AIO gets hacked or stopped by government or whatever, right? Do you lose the funds that you deposited here, or is it
Um.
tied to your member, or you can pull it out anytime without?
Um. Okay. Like I mean, but like a hack is like a very like what kind of hack? Like if I was hacked or if Gate.io was hacked.
If Gate.io was hacked,
Okay.
I mean, if you lose your password, that's different. But let's say if Gate.io is hacked or like Gate.io is disappeared from the internet tomorrow, right?
Right.
So what happens? Like all your rewards are gone, or like your money is, what is because this is all living in exchange, right? Not in your wallet.
Right. Okay, yeah, no, that's a good question. So, like basically your question is like what happens when these decentralized exchanges go off the market? What would you do?
I feel like Uniswap is more of an independent, like unless somebody try to shut it down from a government perspective, it will go away. But are there any other thoughts? Like I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, there is. Basically, like what people do if that's actually happened in the past, where there was like a Uniswap clone, and then people put like hundreds of millions of dollars into it, and then the clone basically just kind of wiped off the face of the planet, and all those people had all their money stored, but they still had access to the smart contract that was stored on the blockchain. So technically, what people do to recover their lost funds, which aren't even lost, they're just not presented on the UI. They just make the same clone and they relaunch it, and then they basically like open that up and become the new open source earner. Like because this right here, this withdrawing stuff. This is a wallet. This is just another crypto wallet that I have permissions to, that I have a password to, and I can find this wallet and the transactions that happen for it on the blockchain. And I can actually locate where this contract address is. And once I find this wallet, technically I can make the exact same UI that Gate.io has for my wallet, and then give it all the same rules and connect it to this wallet and then basically use the same functions that Gate has. Gate is just giving us the ability to do it, but it doesn't mean necessarily that you can't access the same contract that they're giving you permissions to use. Because all smart contracts exist open source. So that means they're only pulling the contracts that are prevalent to you to show up on your profile in a manner where they're managing it, right, in their back end, and this is how they're displaying this application. Do I think this is ever going to happen where this is going to get shut down? Not necessarily, because their coin is like already worth hundreds of millions of dollars and their company is worth near billions of dollars. So they have legal reasons to maintain this entire thing because people put entire assets and whole companies put their entire assets on Gate.io to just start their companies. And some of them are hundreds of the millions of dollars. So no, I don't think Gate.io is going to even be close to getting hacked as a company. As far as I know, that is possible. But as far as I know, if it did happen, well, that's why you don't want to keep any of your money on an exchange. That's why I said put your money on a local wallet. You know, that's why people take money off the exchanges, is that they send it back to their wallet. And this is why I have 2 hardware wallets sitting on my desktop, because I don't keep it in the exchange. I use the exchange to flip my money and then send it back to my wallets here or to my wallets here as fast as humanly possible. Like, that's what I do. So don't keep it in the exchange.
Right, and you still didn't talk about how do you stake that for rewards, right? Or is that you stake through this Gate.io only to get rewards?
No. It's not the only place. I'm going to show you places to stake right now. So I just sent the transaction to...
Basically, how do you buy altcoins and within the DeFi world, right?
Right, I just showed you like how my strategy for buying DeFi coins, yeah. So now I'm going to move on to staking and using DeFi, right? So this is a DeFi exchange. My strategy is don't leave it here for too long. Use as many wallets as you can so that you can take the money out of Gate or KuCoin and throw it into one of these wallets that you have on your desktop or on your Chrome or whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to exit out of this because as you can see, the 1 tokens that I just sent from Gate are in my wallet. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like to actually use a Harmony application. So Harmony has a couple. They have Viper Swap, which is really great. And then they have Tranquil Finance, which is also really great. They have like DeFi Kingdoms, which is like a video game, but I don't play it, so I don't really have any interest in getting into it. But that's only because I don't want to buy their $1,000 NFT at this point. So I just don't really care to use it. You can use it, but I mean, what I'm going to show you here is going to be the exact same thing here. It's just a different UI. Way cooler though too. Anyway, so DeFi Kingdoms is a project on Harmony, but I'm going to show you a couple of examples that I used because this is where I have all my stuff staked. So I can come to Viper Swap, and just like Uniswap, I can swap. So this is a clone of Uniswap for Harmony. So I have 31 in my balance. I can choose a token. I can choose, let's say, Viper, X Viper actually. I'm going to do some X Viper. Add the token, do the maximum amount. Looks like I'm going to get 9 tokens. Great. I'm going to confirm the swap. And then it's going to confirm in my MetaMask. And this is like the total amount of gas that I'm spending, which is 0.004. So it's only 22 cents. So this is like less than 1,000th of a penny. So now I'm closing this transaction. It's pending. So as it's pending, I'll show you my liquidity pool. So I'm getting some Viper, so I just used their swap. But now, if I wanted to actually use this X Viper in the Viper exchange, all DeFi products have like ways of using their own native token, like Viper for Viper. But you can buy other tokens that are native to the Harmony universe. Like every one of these tokens exist in Harmony as a fork of another network. So you got like 1 DAI, you got 1 Curve, you got 1 ETH, you got 1 Matic, you got all the different coins, And these coins are the same exact price as the coins that they are listed as. So Sushi, Uniswap, right? These are all just variations of these coins, but they exist within Harmony. So these are what's known as a bridged token. And so Harmony is, in my opinion, going to be probably one of the bigger DeFi, networks, because they have so many bridge tokens available to their ecosystem, and a lot of them have a lot of liquidity too. So I'm going to refresh this because some of these don't refresh the right one price. So okay, there we go. So that's fixed almost. Okay, so I'm going to go here, go to Viper Nest, and it says, okay, you can stake that X Viper and earn Viper. So great, I just bought some. So now I'm going to, it looks like I have some claimed that I can claim. But I'm going to deposit 9 more. So I'm going to come in here, deposit some, wait for that, and then I'm going to put some money into X Viper. And this little X Viper thing is cool because then I can basically just earn money every day, depending on the amount that I put in. So I just, for waiting, I just earned 1, and that was for 135. But this is nothing, right? This is not really anything. So let me show you where the money is actually at. You go to the Viper Pit. So the Viper Pit, Viper Pit. Pools. Liquidity pools. What's a liquidity pool? So it's a double token. Basically, if I had X Viper or any other token, I can pair them up and put them into a pool. And they already have pools available for me, where if I put 2 coins together, I have to have the one same amount and the Viper same amount. So if I have $1,000, I need $500 of Harmony and I need $500 of Viper to put into this liquidity pool. And if I had both, I would use it. And it looks like I can claim some Viper. So I have some Viper to claim. I have 40 Viper apparently.
Quick question
Yeah.
on claiming. When you claim, you're just claiming the rewards, but you still have the initial investment. It still stays, right?
Yeah, exactly. So your investment, your liquidity pool never changes. And Viper is unique because Viper doesn't actually give you the rewards until you unlock them over time. So they don't allow people to basically just get like $1 million in rewards and rip that from the protocol. You have to, if you get $1 million of rewards, you have to wait for like 6 months to unlock it periodically. So it's what incentivizes growth and the security. And what's nice is that this protocol has been around for 2 years, and it's always been above $50 million in just total value locked in the pools. But the token itself is worth like 50 cents. They're always active, so I like what they do in the DeFi world of Harmony. So I trust them, and I trust that I can put my money in here, and it will accumulate wealth. And I haven't lost anything for ever putting money into Viper, so I trust Viper. So I can use their liquidity pools and earn these percentages on them. So if I put in Luna to Harmony, I can get 268% returns for my given investment, and that's just a estimate.
Real, like let's say if you put $100, you're getting like $300 back.
Well, yeah, basically, like the rewards that you collect over time, it's your initial. Okay, so like basically an APR is basically telling you like what is your annual like return if you were to put any amount of money into this pool at any given time. And so they have the reward allocation amount right here listed. So it's if I put in, say, like $1,000 into the liquidity pool, is this basically saying that it's earning 286% from every single person? It's not exactly. It's 286% for the entire pool. What you're getting is 1.9% of every single transaction that's happening through this pool, and you have a very specific amount of that pool. You don't own the whole pool. You maybe own like 1% of the pool. And that's the reward that you get. You get the money based off of out of the 286% that's promised to the 100% of the pool, what you're getting is at least 1.9% of every transactions that are happening, and it's being rewarded to every single member. And you have a specific amount of the pool. You can have 50%, you can have 10%, you can have 0.001%. It equates how much money you get out of the rewards that are being given to the entire pool. And this liquidity pair is promised to at least get 286% back in returns for every single holder. So whether you are getting 286% back is questionable, because you might earn 1%. You might be 1% of the entire liquidity pool, while somebody else might be 25%. So clearly, they're making a greater reward amount out of the 286% that the entire pool is collecting from the Viper exchange. So, yeah. So it's not like this number is individualistic to you. People get this confused that this is you. No, what you are a small percentage in the entire percentage amount that's being given to everybody. But what you're getting is one.
Reward allocation number,
Right.
That number should be high. Okay.
Yeah, and you're looking for a nice reward allocation, because then that means that anytime a transaction happens, like that's the percentage that you're getting from those those fees. And then the higher it is, the more you get. And so what you're really also looking for is also the emission rate. So like the emission rate basically says how much Viper is going to actually be given to you in terms of the reward right here to this entire liquidity pool. And so they mint, or no, sorry, they don't mint. They reserve a 0.3 of a Viper every single block. Yeah, so this, let me try to think. So I have mine right here. I think this is a better example. So I think I have, let's see, I total deposited, yeah. Okay, so I have, okay, so the total APR of this pool is 1,380%, right? The total amount that is inside of this pool is $8 million, and the pool reward allocation amount is 81%, and the emission rate is 13%. Why is it, sorry, not 13%, 13 tokens. Why is it 13 tokens? It's because it's the most used pair. Most people who use Viper switch between Harmony and Viper. So most of the fees that are generated in every single liquidity pool, most of them are coming to this right here. So that's why it's saying 13 of the Viper, of the block that Viper is being admitted at, well, 13 tokens are coming to this pool, and then that is being allocated to everybody in the pool, and that's coming out to a whopping 81% per transaction, essentially, is what every person is basically earning. And the total percentage that is being earned by everybody, because the fees are so high, because there's so much Viper that's being given to the entire block, every block, it's 1,380%. So and it tells you how many rewards that I have unlocked, my locked rewards. So I've unlocked 30 Viper, but I still have $330 in rewards that I can't get. And I've held this particular pool for less than 4 weeks. So in 1 month, by just putting, I think, let me look. I have one Viper. So one Viper, I have about 16,000 tokens. So what's that, like out of 20 cents? So that's like $4,000. Okay, so in $4,000 in 1 month gets you $300 in the pool for the one to Viper pool. So in terms of like the estimate of how much that's actually earning me per year, if you do the math on that, if it's $300 times 12, then $3,600 is how much I should be earning from this pool alone, and I put in $4,000. So is that 81%? I think so, right? I'm pretty sure that's 81% for me. So yeah, for a $4,000 investment, I'm earning returns in terms of $3,600 for this single liquidity pool. That's pretty good. Okay. It's the same story for the other ones. The USDT, which is on.
That paid in one token, or what is the return?
The return is the Viper token, which is 50 cents right now. So you flip it for Viper, and Viper is on other exchanges as well. So Viper exists on Finance. And they exist on, and they made Comfy Finance. So Viper Swap, they have WagMe too. So they own WagMe, which is basically a fork of the DAO. They have Viper Exchange. Obviously, they have the Owen Finance, which is a stable aggregator. So they basically make sure that there are stable pools for all of the tokens that they work with. Viper and Mochi and Harmony being the Harmony ecosystem, and they do the same thing with Near, with Harmony, with Avalanche, with Polkadot, and with Ethereum. So the Oyen network, these guys have been around for a long time too.
I got another question.
Yeah.
You did a really good job of, okay, we've onboarded, we know that we use these two exchanges to get our fiat money into tokens, and then we could send them to exchanges, and here in this case we could send them here to these pools. So let's use your example of the $4,000 that you locked up for Viper, and then in a year you're going to make $3,600. Some of it is locked for a duration, and some of it is not. Now, let's talk end game in a sense where, okay, how am I going to get that $4,000 and that $3,600 back and, eventually cash into my wallet?
Yeah, so what I would do is there are rules, right? So every liquidity pair has a rule for that liquidity pool. So when you come and you want to deposit your liquidity pair, it's going to ask you to put in the W1 to Viper pair here, which I don't have any. This is how you get into the pool. Now, when you're getting out of the pool, you would withdraw it, right? And it would tell you my current withdrawal fee would be a 0.5%. If you put in money the same block, it would be 25% if you were to withdraw it in the same block. So it punishes you for putting money in and quickly taking it out, right? So you don't want to do that, and you want to make sure that you're claiming more than you are withdrawing, and leaving your money is actually really, really beneficial for the network, because then it's the money you should only claim, right? You should only sell back what you claim, what you earn. So you got to be willing to do one thing. You got to be willing to put in, and you don't need it, right? Whatever you're putting into DeFi, you got to be willing to let go. So if you're willing to let go, then you're going to be making more rewards, and you can sell these rewards for the money that you can go to send it back to MetaMask, and maybe send your Viper rewards and flip it from Viper to like maybe the one token, and then you would go from MetaMask and send it back to like crypto.com, and then you can basically cash out for USD. I do that. That's what I do sometimes to be like super quick and fair. and then I'll just keep trading within crypto.com. I'll just keep trading the money over and over and over and over again. And I'll let my money sit in the pools and continue collecting fees. And I will take the fees whenever I get them and then go and sell them. But when I collect the fees, I'll usually invest into other projects that are also on the up and up. like Tranquil, which at the very beginning, Viper was before Tranquil. So Viper doesn't have Tranquil listed, but like when you get a ton of rewards through one, and then Tranquil comes out the year after, and then people go, hey, this is going to be the next big project. Okay, I'm going to come here and stake like a ton of one tokens, or Tranquil as it calls, and then see what happens. Well, what do you know? Like, it happens to be one of the best projects that they ever came out with, because now they're literally, they have $300 million supplied, and then people have borrowed over $155 million in another collateral token on this aggregator. So this is similar to what Compound does. And this is just one project. And if I wanted to stake to Tranquil, when it was cheap, which it was at one point, I could have gotten my rewards from Viper, gone to Sushi Swap, bought some Tranquil, since one is on Sushi and Tranquil's on Sushi. Most of things work on Sushi Swap. So Sushi Swap's awesome because everything that's on Uniswap that doesn't exist for Harmony does exist on Sushi. So Sushi is a small cap coin swap decentralized exchange. It's the same thing as Uniswap, but it's for smaller coins such as one. And I could have gone and taken all my rewards and then flipped them to Trank and then come here and staked them all and then like made another 3,000% gain on my initial investment from just the rewards that I earned. So do you see my strategy? Like here, I'm basically just, I'm continuously moving money in the direction where it's wanted and where it's needed. And it's always increasing and it's constantly occurring revenue. And like in doing that, remember I told you, like I put $5,000 in on Harmony. It went to 40. I took the $5,000 and I paid myself, and then I took the rest of the money, which was 35, which turned into 37 in like an hour, and I put it into Viper Swap. I put it into Tranquil, which is why I have 16,000 tokens right here. And then every single day at this point, I'm earning like $30 in rewards for this Tranquil thing, because this pool is earning up to like 50-60% in returns of the fees that are being collected in the swap here. And so, well, that's great. And I can do the same thing with doing a Trank to one liquidity pool, and they will give me even Tranquil tokens. And so Tranquil tokens costs, I think, like 60 cents. So great. I'm earning maybe like $10 on top of the 30. So what do we got here? We got like whatever the fuck this is earning me, which is like $300 a month, times whatever this is earning me a day, which is another 300 perhaps a month. And then you got like the other protocols that I've got a few things in here and there, which is not really that much, but I would say like maybe Radium is giving me $200 a month, Osmosis is giving me like $250. So every month, roughly, it's like $800 to $900 in rewards. And that's for just letting my money sit, and I keep moving it and keep staking it and keep moving and staking and moving and staking. And the more you move and stake, the more you occur in fees. And when super cool new hot projects come out, like how Defra, which is for the Tranquil, which is this game that they're going to come out, like, you know, what the hell is it called? DeFi Kingdoms, like this is a total ripoff, right? But it's going to totally succeed, because if they're just the same exact thing, but they're a borrowing and lending protocol video game, bro, like me getting the tokens now, which I'm getting them at this point, they're in my wallet. The fact that I'm getting these tokens and they can be maybe like $25 one day, but they're like, you know, two, whatever. I think they're like $1 at this point. Well, that's great. So, and all of these projects, you got to move your money to wherever the good projects are at. And Harmony is a really, really simple.
Angel investor picking and putting their money in all the bets rather than cashing out, right?
Right. And so, and when you kind of quote unquote cash out, so let me answer that question. So say if you do this for like 3 years, you just kind of jump and jump and jump and jump. And I know I'm going to turn this, you know, amount of money that I've invested into these networks, I know that I'm going to be able to cash out eventually. So what do I do then, right? To answer your real question is what do I do with these rewards, and I want to pull out everything from my liquidity pool. Okay, I do that. I cash out, I put it in back into the one tokens, and what I would do is I would flip it to a stable coin like UST. Okay, so all of the money, my liquidity pool and my earnings, everything, I would throw it into a stable coin first. And then I would, at that point, I would be very careful with how I strategize how to put the money back into my wallet to put into my bank account. Because there's a few things to consider. Like, inflation's on the rise, and the dollar might not be as valuable as the dollars that are being supported by the currencies in the currency trading world. So, like USDT might not be the best option. Like, it might be Bitcoin might be the best option to flip into at that time in the future. So you got to be aware of what the market is doing. You got to be aware of like how the market is thinking and where the economy is actually at in order to know, like, do I want to flip it into a stable coin, or do I want to flip it into like maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum? Like, you got to evaluate it at that time. So if the US dollar is doing really great, then put it into USD, throw it into your bank account, and buy a new house, right? Or you throw it into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is going through the roof and it's going to continue going through the roof, and you want to ride that wave, right? That's another option you can do. Or you can do the Ethereum safe option because it's the general purpose currency. So you can just buy it and you know that it will never go below 2,000, but it will never go above a certain amount. And it's always going to kind of be volatile, but you're comfortable with that volatility. So you're willing to hold it. So it's totally up to you, like how you decide to do these things. I would not go from like my 40 grand and throw all my money back into like my bank, right? Because that's a really bad idea. Because then they're going to ask, like, how did you make all this money? And so my strategy personally is that I love DeFi for passive income. So this $32, if I was like, bringing out somebody on a date and I was like, damn, like, I don't got money. Well, I'm going to just like quickly do some DeFi exchange swapping, and no one is going to notice, like, from Chase Bank or Bank of America, like how I randomly got gifted $32 from like a random area in the world. They're just going to look at it and be like, oh, somebody gave this guy $32. They're not hunting people down for like where earnings are coming from necessarily. If they see that you're making like over $5,000 a month in earnings from like crypto.com specifically from their API, then yeah, they're going to be like, who's paying you and what is this? And then that's when you have to claim tax and say like, oh yeah, like I make earnings in DeFi and I make like $5,000 a month. And I know you're going to want to tax that, right? And they're going to say yes. So, small rewards, not a big deal. But big things and big rewards, yeah, I mean, that becomes a bigger and a bigger deal. So, personally, if my DeFi turned into 40 to $1 million one day, I mean, I would say I'm not technically a millionaire because maybe I'm only maybe I'm only sending myself like $1,000 check a year, but I at least can, live off of that. I can buy whatever I want with that, and I'm kind of flying under the radar for at least for the time being. I know that sounds sketch, but like, I'm just being honest, guys. I just, the DeFi things are very, very new, and the regulations are so new. So I'm not trying to like do anything illegal, and I'm also trying to do things where it's like just fair enough, right? I'm not like putting too much money in my bank, and I'm not like not throwing any money in my bank and being completely unreasonable. I'm doing like the $30 once a month type of thing. That's me. That doesn't need to be you. If you're a risk taker, go all out. But I would recommend against that, just because regulations for crypto could get crazier and could get more intense. and you'll want to know and want to strategize on how to take out your earnings, especially if things start getting crazier. So I don't have any of the logistics on how to do something like that and how to pay attention to those trends because they don't really exist. They do, but they're actually just they're being worked on at the moment. You can go to H&R Block and I guess evaluate your crypto tax, but you know they don't actually ask you for it at this point. So yeah, last year I claimed tax on my crypto, but they didn't charge me anything, and I made like $5,000 in return on a Bitcoin investment, and they didn't tax me a single dime. That was H&R Block too. So I can't really tell you whether or not they're actually taxing it. I don't even think they are. I think they're saying that they are, but they're not actually doing it. Maybe even this year too. So, who knows? Anyway, all that stuff with Viper and with Tranquil, it's the same shit for Radium. It's the same exact thing. Like Radium is for Solana. And so I put some money in their liquidity pool, right? And then I got the liquidity pair. I put it into farms. But this is what I do. I like to go to my farm that I have, my liquidity farm. And it says like, hey, you got two to harvest. So I'll refresh this and unlock my wallet. And what I like to do, proof of concept, I will earn my rewards and then I'll immediately stake them. So I'm gonna just do that right now. I'm gonna take my rewards, and now that they're there, I'm just gonna stake all of them. And I hope you see why I do that, because like I do this every single day for a year. I mean, if I'm getting 2 a day, and then maybe in a month it's like becoming 4 a day, and then in another month it's 8 a day, and then you keep going from there, and the rewards and the APR stays at 18%, and each token is worth $10. I mean, this can just turn in of itself can turn into $1,000 that I don't even really do anything for. It's just through the pair, right? Which would be a 20% reinvestment on this end. So if you combine all of those things, plus the liquidity pools and osmosis are pretty sweet too. You can connect your Kelper wallet, and you can see the assets that you earn every single day. So whatever liquidity pool that you're in, you come to your assets page, and then they actually display what tokens you are getting. So like I claimed yesterday, and now today I have 24 extra dollars and 16 extra dollars in Juno. So like that's cool, right? And I mean, let's do the math on that. All I have right now is my total bonded assets is $4,500. So if I earn $24 in like a day times, let's say like 30 days times 12, it's about $8,640 in returns a year for a $4,000 investment. So that's about a 200% return. And if we look at the liquidity pools that I'm actually in, that doesn't make any damn sense, but it's what I'm earning. I guess it was just because osmosis and these things got really hot. And I think that's because if we go back to the exchange, Atom is really hot right now. So Atom just went up like 10%. So all those fees got generated and they all got pushed to the pools, right? So all the pools that I have money in, well, they just made money. So that's really the difference. So you can't really, it's not an exact science. So I'm going to go with a safe bet and say that maybe it's like not 8,000, it's going to be like 4,000 by the end of the year. So yeah. And then there's obviously like projects that you got to look out for too. So I keep saying Findora. So definitely look into Findora. because Findora is nuts, and they're gonna have Venice Finance, and not a whole lot of people in the Harmony community know that this is actually like their big reveal. I think this is what their big reveal might be. But Venice Finance is very cool. It's a whole UI. They're gonna have ZK rollups in the actual exchange itself. It's a swap. It's like it's a trading, farming, and I think like I don't know actually. It's hard to see what this is. It's just a test net at the moment. But yeah, they're partnering with Polygon, TokenSoft, and Harmony and Discrete Labs. So they're gonna have ZK. It's like zero proof, liquidity pools and things like this, which is gonna be cool. So their token's gonna get really hot, and the way that you get, Findora is on Gate.io, and you can send Gate.io and keep it inside of your wallet for now, and earn rewards. So I had about $2,000 left in Findora, and with that, it's like about like 100 Findora a day, which is at 2 cents. So that's about, I don't know, I think that's less than $2 a day. But Findora is a really, really, really light chain. But they have a lot of the same kind of crazy support that built Harmony, and ZK. They're all about ZK. So I think this might be a really, really hot project. Definitely worth looking into. The same people who built Ethereum and Ripple are building this. And mainly all the marketing leads from those teams are in Findora as well. So I look at projects on their teams, and this is the way I do that too. So how to invest into the right assets, right? So I'll go to like fucking LinkedIn, and then I'll literally just look up like who's a part of this team and where were they just then. So I'll go to like Discrete Labs and see who's a part of that team. Be like, okay, so such and such. Okay, it looks like they're talking recently. Fantastic. Well, let's go to the people. All the people. Oh, Maggie. Who's Maggie? Oh, she's got like 25 connections with Harmony. And the Warm Paul guy also knows the CEO of Harmony. Oh, that's weird. And like everyone else knows Harmony. Huh. Maybe these guys are working with Harmony. And then you see Venice Finance, and it's like they actually have a whole poster that has Harmony on it. So it's like, it's not released and it's not known, but like it's kind of a release and it's kind of already known, right? So yeah, and so I talked to Maggie, and she spills the beans on the project, and they happen to have like this crazy innovation on the UTXO layer, and they literally they changed the UTXO to have zero knowledge proof. And this dude, I mean, you dive deep into his career, and he's from Harvard and all these things, and then like product management at Ripple and these things, and like, one of the project mining developers way back when Bitcoin was actually getting hot and fire. So he was like one of the reasons why Bitcoin even got popular to begin with. So it's like, okay, well, that's great. So that might be a good investment. You never know. But it's definitely a safe bet when you know that the team is legit, and they're also underground, and they're trying to do a lot of good work before they actually come out. So that means they want to pop off, right? And marketing teams want to pop off when they enter markets. And the same thing happened to Cadena. The same exact thing happened to Solana. The same exact thing happened to Polygon and a lot of the other chains, right? So they do this market warm-up and then market boom. And I'm pretty sure that's what Findora is doing right now. It's literally happening. So we'll see.
Findora you can only buy on like CoinTiger or Gate.io, right?
Yeah, on Gate basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So great coin. Different network though, right? So like, don't be married to one network. I would say like it's a multi-chain future. Harmony definitely wants to do a couple of those things in the future. And you start seeing the trends of what's happening with Harmony. Harmony is like all about, multi-chain and all these things, but like as like a business, what is it doing right now? It's building a chain between them and Cosmos. And then you see that Cosmos, let's look at Juno. Okay, so I only did this through like extensive research, but like Juno, Cosmos, what are these guys? This is okay. So Juno doesn't. Sorry, Cosmos doesn't have any NFTs. So Juno is the smart contracts for the Cosmos ecosystem. So these guys, when you read about them, they're all about Cosm and like building, low cost, interoperable, fast smart contracts for the Cosmos ecosystem. But they want to make sure that their NFTs are interoperable. And then you start reading deeper and deeper into what the Cosmos Bridge is actually supposed to be doing for Harmony, and it's all about interoperability. And then you look even deeper into the Horizon Bridge, and then the Horizon Bridge for Harmony is also being updated to look exactly like the UI that Cosmos has, which is not implemented yet. But if you see their pictures and their things, it's like going to be black and it's going to be like starry and weird and cool. It's going to all change. This whole thing is going to change soon. But they're going to support Cosmos. And they also support NFTs. So like just I'm putting two to two together, but like companies know what they're doing. Like these foundations are setting themselves up to do certain actions. And so Juno is coming out, and like the entire people, everyone I've ever met talks about this project like it's like the holy grail of Cosmos. So that's cool. So definitely look into Cosmos and Juno, and then you look at their coin price, and this thing went up like God who knows how much. I think it was like coin market cap. This thing went up like 20% in the last day or something. So let's see, Juno. Okay, it's already on here too. So, bro, it's $30. This thing was not worth a penny. Like not even that long ago. Hold up. I might be wrong on that. Okay, it was $13. Sorry, when it started. No, let's do a year. Okay, like $8 for like a long time, and now it's like $30, and it hasn't even come out yet. So, what is this thing, right? Oh well, this Harmony, right? This Harmony, this Harmony, right? It's what's happening. I have a really good feeling that that's what's happening. Okay, and then you got and then you also read really deep into their bridges. Watch this. This is gonna be cool too. Cosmos Light clients, Light client, Tendermint core, overview, Light package. Let's see. They have their Light clients somewhere. Oh, they're all built in Go too, which all of Harmony is built in Golang as well. Let's see. I can't remember where it is, but basically like they have like a whole section dedicated to Harmony on this.
Hey, I need to drop off now. So, is it possible to put a doc, just steps, right? Like, hey, go buy Harmony One, go to Gitco, exchange with this. Now go to Viper Swap, do this. Like, stuff. I know it's covered a lot. Like, if there is like simple, like 10-step or 5-step document, you not like just to know the order, right? That would be super helpful.
Sure, yeah. I guess I can like try to help like kind of summarize the orders of these things, but the reason why it's all bouncy and all over the place is because everyone's different, right? Like everyone's gonna have their different interpretation for where and what to trade. So I mean, like I'm giving you my own personal bias. Like I can't tell you what to trade. I'm giving you my personal bias with how I trade because I think it's the best way right now. So this is like, yeah,
Like how to like maybe just sample, right? It's not that we go put everything, but more like, hey, if you want to do it, $100, just play to know, and then we can go follow strategy of yours or build our own, or like that's what just like
right.
sequence of that's what I found.
Right. Yeah. No, that's definitely a really good idea. I think we can probably turn what I'm trying to show you basically into a lesson plan. And instead of me telling you where to invest and what to invest, it's like a sequence of events of what do I look for in terms of like coin, like you go from exchange to DeFi exchange to swap to trade to liquidity pool, and then like all the other projects, and then you then go to from projects to investment, and then from there you go to a summary that says now you choose what the hell to do with your money and your time and your thing. Like this is just one roadmap to like getting deep into DeFi, but it's not exactly the only way. This is just one way, right? Yeah, sure. I mean, I can definitely build that for sure. I just wanted to get all my brain out on this tonight and show people because
Super helpful. I think, it feels like there's a ton, to learn and to go deep. But yeah, super helpful. Thank you.
totally, yeah. And this is recorded too, so like I'll rewatch it and just piece it together and make something simple.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
All right, Thrun, yeah, take it easy. But yeah, like that's actually it, guys. So like, I mean, if you have any questions, if there's anything that didn't make any sense, like I can go back over any of these things.
What's your Telegram?
Good question. It's where is it? Bridge Builders DAO. So it's where is it?
So that where we can send you questions.
Yeah, well, like not just about DeFi, but like yeah, like if you wanted to send me or Anoop or any of the admins in Bridge Builders, like yeah, then you could. So I'll give you an invite link. And you're in the Discord right now. So then go to DAO Community Chat channel. And copy this link, and that's our Telegram. And yeah, you can always get in contact with us there. I'm Dylan, and my Telegram handle is Chaotic Beauty, and Anoop is Coin Fan, COIN fan.
This was awesome. This was another step of learning and kind of put it all somewhat together because it's a lot to digest, especially when you're first starting. So these events that you have are very very helpful.
Yeah, appreciate that. I mean, like, this was just kind of like, I didn't even plan to do this until yesterday. So, like, this was super unconventional, but we typically make these lesson plans like way more structured. Trust me. Like, I mean, I can show you an example. But, I mean, wait, I don't know how I'm going to get to it fast enough. Um, but basically, okay, in the honesty of time, we build lesson plans, yes, and we do make lesson plans, and that's what I think the Rune was basically saying. He's like, hey, can you just make like a lesson plan for this? And I can. So everything that you just saw here tonight, if you think this is of any value, then yeah, I will make a lesson plan, but it will be an unbiased lesson plan, not just for Harmony. It would be for like all things DeFi related. And then we would put the same exact thing into the Harmony verse. But it's very tricky to do a DeFi lesson plan on projects because then you get into the notion of shilling projects. So that's why I wanted to be unconventional tonight, because this is just what I invest into. I'm not telling what you should invest into. These are my speculations. These are my investments. This is what I trust. But like, do your own research, and definitely like, I would say never invest into projects that are like scammy. But you might be balls deep on like the scam tokens. Who knows? Like, I can't tell you what not to invest in. And I'm only going to tell you the projects I like. And I can tell you what projects I would avoid. But that would really suck if I put that out to the public. Yeah.
No, I think what I'm taking out of it, and I think what everyone else here is taking out of it, is the logistical part of it. Is where to go to find this exchange, how to trade, how to pair, how to liquidity pool, and then I think we're not putting that on you. Tell me what to invest. Tell me what to invest. That's not what I think. For me personally, what I'm getting out of this, I'm what I'm getting out of this is the logisticals and how to navigate and where to go to perform what I want to perform. Does that
Oh,
make sense?
yeah, no, like, and I actually, that's the best. That was really good feedback. Yeah, like, I think that's what the direction we can take a lesson plan, I think, is like, how does the logistics of Web3 work, basically? I think that could be the lesson plan. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
logistics, I'll write that. Logistics of Web3. And that's what we have these meetings for, man. Like, Migs, like, for real, we don't, like, I don't want to say we don't know what we're doing, but like a lot of the stuff is new. So if you come to these meetings that we have in Discord, we consider everything to be of value for the DAO. And then we'll build things, lesson plans, or like, I don't know, like we'll add things to our application that we're building based off of these conversations. If they're of any value, if they turn into something valuable, they will literally turn into something. So the fact that we can come together and say like, okay, let's build a lesson plan called Logistics of Web3, that's awesome, right? So that's what
Yeah,
we do.
that's the perspective that I want to bring to this space is I'm the user that everybody wants to eventually on board because once I'm on board, then this thing has really blown up.
Mm.
You know, I don't have a lot of technical experience, but I am very curious about this and I do pick up things real quickly. So these are the things that help onboard more users. Every single player owns a mech inside of the game. Players use. So thank you for that.
Yeah, Migs. Absolutely. And thanks for your time. And Anesh, I know that like you're that you were curious, right? Like you were curious about a lot of these things. So did I just confuse you more, or is there anything that you wanted me to clarify? Not sure. Uh, okay, how about Salish or Ocean? Any? Do you guys have any questions? Feedback?
Oh, hey Dylan, Ocean, this is Kai. I think we played basketball before.
Oh, hey.
I am one of the governors of Liquidity DAO. So yeah, I am pretty experienced in DeFi, and I still learned a lot today. So really appreciate all the thoughts and sharing. So learn a lot about Game.io and KuCoin, which I haven't used. Been paying a lot of ridiculous fees to SushiSwap and Uniswap. So.
Ha. Well, it's cool to have you in here, man. Like this is so I believe isn't the project that you're on like is the humming bot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually like you can educate me on that actually because I have it downloaded. I don't know if you saw that, but I have it. I think like I have a beta version of it downloaded, um, right here. Yeah. So when I click on it, I've always been curious on how this thing is gonna work with all things like what, and I can't really use it actually. So what is the humming bot, if you don't mind me asking now?
Yeah, so Hummingbot. Oh, and just by the way, my microphone wasn't working when we first started, so I switched to a different platform and now it worked. Yeah, and Hummingbot is just a open source software that anybody could download and become a market maker in one of these exchanges. So it does work with KuCoin, so you could become a market maker within KuCoin. And what is a market maker? It is just that you would put in a bid and ask order, and then when a retail trader wants to trade, their trade would hit the closest bid and ask orders, and the market maker will be able to generate kind of a small profit by trading that way. In addition, usually KuCoin or one of the issuers, such as Harmony, will pay out a reward for people that are market makers. So it's very cool. So I would encourage you to try it. I have no technical background, and even I learned it, very quickly. So it's very interesting to use.
Interesting, because I see it's connected to Coinbase, Terra, Uniswap, DY, Binance, and Harmony, I believe, and wow.
So is tutorial video that we can check for how to install Hummingbot and start using it? Yeah, there's a ton of YouTube educational videos, so I started there. first download it, and then there's the whole process. I would definitely say that what you're teaching today about DeFi is probably the easiest way to go, where you could just park money there and really be very passive. I think for Hummingbot is for people that are interested in watching the market, that wants to make several hundred trades a day automatically using software. So
Okay. So is the return gonna be more like we are spending more time there? Is the return gonna be more than the different methods that they will show?
that's right, and also you probably need to use like a Amazon AWS or something like that to host a lot of different computers to run different strategies. So
I
what, if you don't mind, like, can you just tell like what might be like the average return that we can hope, or the yield that we can hope for doing going in Hummingbird?
So it also varies, but I think, and I am not that experienced in terms of being Hummingbot user, but I would say several 100% APR as well.
Mm-hmm. So how much time do you usually spend like working with Hummingbird a day? Like what is how much time do you like spend a day?
Well, once you're experienced, you don't really need to spend a lot of time. Like you just let it run automatically. It's software. I think the learning curve is how to get it set up initially.
Mm. Okay.
It's definitely really cool. Now, I have a question about it. Can you build a smart contract around a new market made? Like, can I build? Do you think it's possible to like make my own, landing page and then have like a smart contract be tied to the Hummingbot so that the Hummingbot can be used in conjunction with the smart contract? So maybe I can make a DeFi protocol using Hummingbot as the core software, which would be using, maybe our DAO's own smart contract. Maybe there's like a market making DAO button. I can't imagine it now, but like if you see what I'm saying, it could it be used like with a
Yeah,
smart contract?
part of our liquidity DAO's first main mandate is just to build a connector for Hummingbot to be connected to the Harmony ecosystem, including Viper Swap, DeFi Kingdom, etc. So I think the short answer is that you are going to be able to use Hummingbot, and it would connect to a lot of these DEXs, decentralized exchanges such as SushiSwap and Uniswap, as well as in the Harmony ecosystem. But I am not technical, so I'm just speaking very general terms. I think you could
Mm,
probably create something great.
mm. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely want to explore it more. I had it downloaded, I just never got the chance to use it, and I have been super, super curious ever since. And so, I have another question: is like, how is the Liquidity DAO doing? Like, what are you guys up to, and like, what have you achieved, and what have you learned, and are you going to be at ETH Denver?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Youth Denver, and we have only started since about late December, so it's only been a couple months, or less than 2 months, and we're really in just kind of the formation stage. Where so far we are launching a liquidity campaign. We're trying to build the back end connectors to connect to the Harmony ecosystem. We're trying to get a lot more of these quant traders. There's thousands and tens of thousands of them that runs software on their computer to trade crypto into the Hummingbot ecosystem and into the Harmony token, so that more liquidity could be generated by these decentralized participants instead of by a centralized Wall Street hedge fund. So yeah, but we just started. I'm actually learning from Bridge Builders as well, just because it seems like you guys have been running for a lot longer and had a huge community now, and we're just we haven't even started community building. We don't have a Discord channel, so everything's pretty new to us.
I would argue that we just started too, though. We just focused. primarily on education, and you know, this is some of the stuff that we do here, but we're actually in that kind of product building phase at the moment where, you know, you guys have that benefit of that doubt where it's like, you know, you're working with these tools, and now we're actually trying to make sure that we're delivering those types of tools to, you know, to Harmony, basically, as being one of the kind of like, you know, what Gitcoin does with bounty creation. We want to do that same thing on Harmony, but building, you know, the opportunity for people to actually build a reputation on chain. So that's why a lot of people come to this community, is so that they can learn, but with the benefit of eventually earning a reputation-based currency, which is not something that has any real value other than like the intrinsic value of doing work on chain in the open source. Since a lot of you know, what you guys are doing is pulling a lot of liquidity, and with liquidity comes a lot of jobs and a lot of innovation, and so turning those giant piles of investments and money that's coming into this ecosystem, like, what do you do with it if it's not being turned into something? So we're trying to connect developers and their communities together, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of what's being built in community, within Harmony, is being kind of propagated by the communities themselves. And so we're making that like a seamless opportunity for people to collaborate, since the main thing that we were doing is basically trying to solve the problem with why people can never find a hackathon partner. And we wanted to solve that first. And then there was also a lack of education in this. And so that was one way that we onboarded. So if I had like any tips on how to, like, you know, build a community, number one would be like, just constantly try to be focused on, you know, helping and like building education, and like always being there, and letting that DAO speak. We even do little lesson plans on like how to vibe with a DAO. We're just trying to solve all the problems that aren't really solved quite yet. But DAO is very new, and DAO is also very confusing. And so there has to be lesson plans around DAO and what that even means. And there cannot even be one DAO, right? There has to be other people's interpretations of DAO. So we have to at least come up with like the template. So I feel like that's what we're doing at Bridge Builders. We're at least creating some kind of guidance system, like a GPS for the Web3. You know, so that's why that's what we do. But we're fairly new. I think we've been around for about I want to say like 4 months. So our next phase is gonna be like building. We have a wireframe basically on paper that we're gonna start building. And we want to bring everybody along with that process. So as we build, you're more than welcome, and everyone in here is more than welcome to join and to watch and to attend and to suggest, because we're trying to go super radical in how can we build a community-led project built by the DAO and then funded by nobody but itself. Like, how decentralized can we do this, right? How DAO can we do this? Total thought experiment, but it's kind of working, so we'll see.
Be able to bring a lot of the new people that are, you know, don't know about crypto, you know, sort of the blue ocean, you know, the 99% that doesn't know about crypto, and, you know, come onto the crypto. That would be huge. So it's really a way for blockchains like Harmony to scale to the regular users.
Yeah. Hopefully, like, I feel like some of the lesson plans we have are so easy that like I can teach anyone. Rachel, she's in the Ambassador DAO, and you might know her. She's awesome. You know, her and I are friends, but she has no coding experience. And I showed her the lesson plan, and she was able to build her Elixir of Life token, and she put a picture on it and everything in her wallet on the testnet, and it totally lit up her whole world, right? Like, people who have no programming experience can come to the Web3 and feel like they can actually accomplish something small, but it's pretty massive because these networks give you that ability. And I feel like what people need to see and what Web3 even is, it's not like a different internet. It's just a new level of networking and a new level of software that people can start building. And it allows for greater connectivity, and it allows for people to kind of take control of their own assets in their own ways. And there's so much more depth, obviously, in the you know, in all things Bitcoin and Ethereum related, right? And we want to kind of summarize a lot of that history in our lesson plans, and we have to an extent, but there's so much more work to do. And so yeah, hopefully we can try to like help everybody along the way and see how many events and how many lesson plans we can build through these meetings. And every time we have these meetings, we want to make sure we're giving as much information as possible, and then we can kind of create an idea and then come up with something together. And our Git book is where all of the lesson plans live, and anyone is welcome to write there in the Bridge Builders. And we have a YouTube that anyone is allowed to post to, and we have a Telegram that, like, we want to make it that open where it's like the DAO owns everything for itself.
So the lesson plans you said are on what?
On our Git book. So I have a LinkedIn that has the link to everything that we have. Let me get that for you. I need to have all these links somewhere. Hold on. Okay. Let me go on my phone. I have the link. But LinkedIn, yeah. So it has everything from our lesson plans to our to the events and that we're doing, and to all the links, our telegrams and everything. So it's something that you can share with people. We have some business cards too that people can like take a picture of the QR code anywhere you go, anywhere, you know. But let me find this. Hold on. I got it somewhere here.
And then you are going to Denver, right?
Yeah, so Anoop and I are going to talk about DAO and teach about DAO at with Crypto Voxel. They're a metaverse being built right now, and they actually, once we partnered with them, they put Harmony in their metaverse. So as soon as we got into contact, they actually built a 3D temple for Harmony, which is pretty cool. So,
are you going to the TGI on Wednesday?
Hey, like middle of the weekdays is very tough for me personally, just because I work at all the way in Richmond, and getting out there at that time takes like 2 hours or even more. So
yeah, it takes me about 2 hours and 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get out there with no traffic hiccups.
I mean, I want to, I want to know when everyone's going one day, but like some days they have it, some days they don't. I know, like, obviously Denver's right in the way, so they won't have it, but let me post the LinkedIn. Sorry, I got this link for everybody. Go to the community chat, the DAO community chat, and then there's the link. That's where the lesson plans that we're building are. It's on our link tree, so if you click on that, that you will be brought to our charter, our Telegram, our meetups, our Twitter, our YouTube, where we have the live sessions posted, and then the Web3 lesson plans. And then we organized it in a way where we have 10 different sections, and it's a flow of learning everything about blockchain and then going to actually build little projects for the blockchain or whatever it is. And those are actually split into network specific workshops. So lesson 1.1 being Ethereum and 1.2 being Harmony. And then we want to expand to other networks, such as Cosmos and Solana and these other ones where they have their own needs and their own networks. But we will post a lesson plan for another network, whoever funds the DAO, right? So this is how the DAO gets funding, is that if people find value in the lesson plans that we build together as a DAO, then the multi-sig that we share together will be basically distributed to the DAO. And if we build these lesson plans with enough like oomph, Then if we go to another network and they want us to build a whole lesson series according to these 10 for them, like Findora, and they're thinking about it doing it with us, well then then we'll basically make section 1.3 and so on, all the threes, Findora related, and then they'll have their own section.
Okay. Well, congratulations. This is awesome. I can't say enough about this lesson plan that you did today and what you guys are doing. So I will continue to support it and continue to learn from you guys.
All right, hey Migs, you're the best. I thank you.
All right. You guys have a good evening.
All right, Migs, take care. So, yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to take up all your guys' time, but like, if you guys have any questions or anything, I wanna end this night with saying that, like, after ETH Denver, we are gonna be building. We do have kind of a template laid out. I'm busy trying to get a lot of those like pre-works done so that everyone's aware of what we're doing. Yeah, and there will be a non-disclosure for the builders of the project, just so that the property rights are to that team until the actual application is built. But other than that, just to be clear, a DAO cannot be disclosed. A DAO can't be in the NDA. Anyone can make a DAO. Like if you have a problem with Bridge Builders, go and make a new DAO, right? But we just ask that like you don't build a replica of our application until we have those applications built and we give those permissions to those teams and whoever that ends up being. And it's unfair to the team that builds it. I feel like I'm gonna be a part of that team, obviously, but then like anybody else, not speaking for them, but in my understanding, it's just not right. So we're gonna have a non-disclosure. We'll write that. I hope we can get that done by the end of the week. And then if you're interested in building now and you're seeing what we're doing and you're seeing what Bridge Builders is and you're seeing the interest, I want to welcome anyone now in here to like, think about it. If you're interested in building, we will build and we will figure this out. And I feel like it will be pretty cool and it will be really, really fun for the community to use. But what happens after the application is what we have to figure out as far as like a pitch. And this is what Anoop was saying to me is figure out the pitch. So yesterday we came up with a lot of value propositions for the application. We wireframed the living hell out of it. We know what it would flow as, and we know what our contracts will be, and we know what sections of the application will exist, but we don't yet have a model to show. And so we have to do a sequence diagram, and this will basically be our flow chart of how the actual application will work. This will be done in the coming weeks. I just ask that everyone is like patient because this is a first time for some of us building our own application, especially for myself, from like ground up, full stack and everything for a DAO. So, yeah. So any help that we can get will be awesome. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. Anoop, if you wanted to say anything on that too.
Yeah, you said you actually did very, very good. That's an awesome class. I think it is going to be like a big step for all of us here who listen to that DeFi class. And like the logistics, I think it's like logistics of DeFi. Like we can write a lesson plan like that, the logistics of DeFi. And also like we'll be meeting every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. PST time. Like somebody will be here like hosting it where we discuss stuff like this and see how we are mapping out our BBD app too. Yeah. And thanks a lot, Dylan, for taking time for this.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So what, Dylan, are you familiar with the term impermeable loan, impermanent loss?
Impermanent loss? Yeah.
I think that's like the other side of staking, right?
Right. So like, some protocols will they will offer something as impermanent loss on their platform. So it's something that like if you're ever running into a DeFi project, you have to actually uh, look into their documentation and to see what exactly like they're saying that their platform is about. Like you have to look into their fees, you have to look at whether or not they're in their terms, that they have impermanent loss or not. And so just so for anyone who's unaware of impermanent loss, just because I don't even know the exact definition, um, impermanent loss is the risk that liquidity providers take in exchange for fees they earn in liquidity pools. So if the liquidity exceeds the fees earned by the users, then when they withdraw, it means that the user has suffered negative returns compared with simply holding their tokens outside the pool. So Tranquil Finance has a way of actually like having like a stop loss automatically on their application for like no impermanent loss to actually happen. So instead, it actually hurts the lender. No, it doesn't hurt the lenders. It just hurts the borrower. Because it's if they don't trade it fast enough, they're the ones who are actually gonna like lose out on that liquidity. And so if you go to Tranquil Finance, that's actually kind of why they have 2 times more than they have borrowed. They have like 2 times the amount actually being used as collateral. So it's almost impossible to ever have impermanent loss for now. At least for now. At least like if all the amount borrowed went back to the total supply and this flipped, no one would really lose anything. So it's pretty balanced, and these two numbers are pretty clear. But if you're not seeing where what's being used as a collateral versus like what's actually in the pool itself, and you see how much people can actually get back in return, that DeFi protocol will have to actually specify whether or not like it's possible to pull liquidity out of those smart contracts, because some some say yes, some say no. Tranquil says they can, and they have no impermanent loss according to Tranquil. Otherwise, like Viper does have impermanent loss, and that's why it's more of a risk asset. So it's yeah, totally up in the air. I think it's more risky if the liquidity pair is lower. Obviously, if there's less slippage, then it's like it's more risk. But that's why you got to go into pools that have a lot of liquidity in them, so that way if they start dumping on everybody, you're able to pull out fast enough to make sure that you get back at least some of your liquidity before you lose all of your liquidity pool. Your tokens really basically are the things that go away. And when that thing goes away, you won't get any of your money back. And Viper Swap doesn't guarantee like 20% back on your liquidity pool tokens. No, it doesn't care. It won't give you anything in return for any of the loss on any of the pools. If you put money into a pool, it's totally fair game for anyone to rip the liquidity, and you will lose any of the earnings if you don't pull out on time. So that's the only thing with Viper.
Yeah, I think we can call it a day then.
All right, guys. Yeah. Well, it was great talking to everybody.
Thank you so much, Dylan.
Yeah, Nesh. Absolutely. All right, guys. Have a good night. Wish all of you a good sleep, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.
We didn't book the flight. I did not book the flight. I have to book the flight.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that now. All right. See you guys. All right, I'm going to book that flight.
I will do that too. I think it's better to do it now.
Where did you send me the link?
Telegram, I think.
You sent it to me personally, right? Yeah. Oh, let me stop this recording. Hold up.